Trump supporters are in party mood. He is going to speak shortly. Let's speak with Erol Morkoc, spokesperson for Republicans overseas. Erol, good morning to you.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Nice to have you with us. Well, you know, it ain't over yet, but it's looking pretty good for the Republicans. What are your thoughts?
It's looking real good. And I mean, I know you guys are wondering if Donald Trump's going to go up there and declare victory. Fox News just called Pennsylvania and Arizona to give Trump 267. I know they're not the barometer here that we're going to wait for as the final tally, but I suspect Trump to go up there and declare victory with that. I mean, we have such a commanding lead in Pennsylvania. There's only there's under 10% left. We're up by 300,000 plus. Wow. Arizona does look very good. I really can't imagine a way that we lose this like what happened last time. There isn't some magical bullet to save the Democrats here. They've cooked their own goose. They made an alliance with Dick Cheney, and they threw out Scranton, Pennsylvania Joe, and they tried to run an unelected, unwanted person, and now their chickens have come home to roost.
It's interesting in terms of what people are voting for. Is it for the Republican Party? Is it just for Donald Trump? I mean, you mentioned the Cheney name there. Father and daughter, neither are Trump supporters. The Bushes, I think last time around, I seem to remember George Bush saying he wouldn't vote for Donald Trump, and there are others. Is this about the magic, the cult of Trump, or is something else going on here?
It's bigger than Trump. Trump might be the talisman. He might be the godfather of this movement, but the people who are coming up in the wings and the young people, people like his vice president's a millennial. His vice president's 39 years old. Yeah. You have people like Vivek Ramaswamy coming in, all sorts of interesting new people, new candidates. And yes, to get to this point, there was a cult of Trump to some degree. I mean, people did it tongue-in-cheek a little bit to kind of, maybe tease some people, but certainly the party isn't just Donald Trump. And people weren't voting just for Donald Trump. They were voting for what he represents, which is what they have lacked in the current administration. And they want lower taxes, they want cheap energy, and they want no wars. And that's what Donald Trump is offering. It's a simple message. And people like Dick Cheney don't really represent the modern Republican Party. Everything changes in America. We're the party of the working class now. The richest 10 counties vote Democrat. Most billionaires donate money to Democrats. We're the party of regular people and common sense, and that's what's appealed to this election.
Yeah, one of the things we've been sort of investigating in the last couple of hours, Erol, on that very point is the status quo, the establishment, if you want to refer to it in that kind of way, has been given, it looks like, a bit of a kicking. And we've seen this in other countries. We've seen that in Europe to a smaller extent. We saw it a little bit with Reform UK here in the United Kingdom. There is a mood change. Would that be reasonable? Or are people now just able to talk, to speak out and say, look, enough is enough? There's a lot of madness going on, whether it's the kind of this bizarre, weird sort of gender evangelism, whether it is, about being called a white supremacist because you have a problem with 8 million, 10 million people crossing your border. It's kind of all of the world's gone upside down, and I think people are looking for a recalibration. Would that be fair?
I think that's a great way to put it, a recalibration. People aren't looking for wild, changes. We're just looking for common sense. Correct. We want to have a border. We would like to have some control over what material our children under the age of 15 are looking at. Like, these aren't things that should be argued. We shouldn't have to say we're against men and women's sports. Like, what is going on here that we've gotten to a place? And Trump says that on stage sometimes because, it blows my mind that I'm here talking about it. And that's what we've just strayed so far. And it's the universities. And I blame it completely on the universities. They have taught every educated person, quote unquote, under the age of 40, let's say, to deconstruct everything. Deconstruct the institution, deconstruct the flag, deconstruct the military, deconstruct everything that you're possibly could, destroy the patriarchy. Your family is the root of all evil. Yeah. And in the end, that message didn't really sell. And you know who it didn't sell to? Immigrants. Immigrants hate that. Immigrants are family people, naturally conservative people. And once they realized they were being exploited by the Democrat Party, all of a sudden the Muslim immigrants broke to Trump. Hispanic immigrants broke to Trump. I'm an immigrant to the United States. I went to Trump. Everybody went to Trump because immigrants hate that kind of treatment.
Yeah, I think that's spot on. In terms of where we're at the moment, I mean, it can't be lost on anyone that Donald Trump is about to make a speech and Kamala Harris is in bed.
Yeah, I mean, you honestly might wonder if she spent the whole campaign there. Where was she? Where was she just beating down the doors like Trump was? Everything she did was so staged and so phony. I mean, I guess maybe her and Joe Biden have the same bedtime. They did everything apparently the same. She wouldn't have changed a single thing. Imagine, you wouldn't change a single thing. Not even one thing. Yeah. So, I mean, you know, it's he who laughs last laughs best. And Donald Trump, I think, gets a hearty laugh tonight.
Yeah. I now have an image that they have bunk beds somewhere just off the Oval Office.
I'm so sorry for that.
She's shouting down, "I didn't do it, Joe. I didn't do it." We're going to watch with interest what does happen there. This speech he's about to give, is it premature to give a victory speech? I mean, we mentioned there that, you know, Fox and others are calling some of those swing states already. It's looking pretty good in that respect. Do you imagine Donald Trump will declare himself the president, or will he be maybe a bit diplomatic, even by his standards?
Not a chance. He's going to declare himself president, for sure. For sure. He believes he's won. We believe he's won. If it was if it wasn't Pennsylvania by such a margin with such a narrow amount left, maybe premature if we're talking about Michigan, Wisconsin, and Minnesota. But in this case, I mean, he's the Teflon Don for a reason. He's going to go out there and he's gonna declare victory. I'd bet the house.
Yeah. And then, of course, there'll be the navel-gazing by the Democrats. They'll be wondering what the heck happened. Well, 2 words, Kamala Harris is really what happened there. And I don't think anybody, and if they're honest, and I said this to a previous guest, Errol, the Clintons, the Obamas walking around talking as if they were best buddies with Kamala, a woman I swear they hadn't met half an hour ago. But nonetheless, they were sort of suggesting that she was clearly key to the success of America, spectacularly admitting that she was part of a crucial part of the administration that people were unhappy with. I mean, it's that spectacular inability to see this and spot the appetites and the changing desires of people. It's all of those things put together, really, that seems to have given the Democrats a kicking. They just didn't get it. They didn't read the room.
They're incredibly arrogant and they overplay their cards to the nth degree. And, you know, at no point did anybody step back and say, the American people aren't going to be gaslit on everything. Like, you can't, they did everything. Joe Biden says, all of your supporters are garbage. And they say, he didn't say that. You didn't see that. You didn't see that video. I mean, it got to be comical. And then the joy was lost. The campaign actually started out well. She had a honeymoon phase. It was looking good. They actually did seem joyful and happy. And then all of a sudden it went to abortion, Nazis, and Hitler. And that's just not going to win an election. That's not a message that anybody wants to hear at all. And obviously they did it.
There it is. Errol, thank you for your time. Appreciate that. Enjoy the rest of the night. Erol Morkoc, spokesman for Republicans overseas, with us. Just gone 6:30.